Hello and welcome to ttrpg. I am Vyacheslav, and today I tell you about the system and the book that becomes a source of inspiration for not only players and game masters, but also for a lot of game developers. And it's actually a few big and even complex products based on these rules. And this little book and this simple system is a Mörk Borg. Really fine doom metal album of a game. Really small, looks like an album with this cultist on the backside. And it have a small, not detailed setting, and actually really fine and small system and rules. Let's start from the setting, of course, because when you open this book, you will see a list of albums that you need to listen when playing, and the setting. And what's happened here? The players will exist, actually don't live, but exist in a dying world. It's actually dying. Depend on your campaign start. It can be a few weeks, few months or few days, but your player heroes will be not actually heroes. They will just wait for the end of the world with a lot of NPCs and monsters here and try to become rich or just try to maybe save the world, but mostly not. Mostly to just become rich and live life fun. Live that last days that they have. Setting is really dark and gloom. The described in the book world is not big. It's actually just small country. Have 4 big cities, some villages. Mostly persons that live in this world as the cultists, cannibals, and different evil bandits or even monsters, even undead creatures right now. And world not dying just on the worlds. It's actually dying. If you will play a campaign, it will be limited by time, and depend on your game start, you will roll D100 or D20 or D2 every day of the game timing for understand that world will dying soon and something happens, some misery happens. Miseries will change setting and the gameplay of the game, so bird will be die or it will be a long winter, world will lose colors, stuff like this. 6 different events that change gameplay slightly will happen, and last one, 7th, will be the end. World will die, and you need to destroy your character sheets, and even this book you can burn it. Actually, setting not too detailed. It have not information about the name of every trader in every town. It have only hooks, just hints how to play. If you will run one shot, so you can play this game as it in a book. But if you try to play a campaign or something bigger, you will need to use your imagination. Actually a lot of imagination. But it still have short description of kingdoms and wasted lands, and also artworks that help you to imagine what happens here and create some NPCs. Now, when we know about setting, let's go to the system and rules, and it's so simple. All rules you can see on this page. It's actually not all rules, we have a few more optional points, but it's all that you need for play system. So if you need to check any skill or combat attack or any stuff, you just roll the dice d20 against difficulty rating and use modifier. Modifier can be a part of your armor, part of your, I don't know, magic items, but basically it's depend on your abilities. It's for abilities in game: agility, presence, strength and toughness. They have modifiers from -3 to +3, and actually it's all for checks. Combat it's simplified too. In this system, all rolls, mostly all rolls, by rules must roll players. And actually you can give all rolls in the game to players, to be honest. Basically only moral, initiative and miseries checks. It's a thing that the game master roll, but you can give it to players. Why not? So at the start of the combat you roll initiative. It can be personal for any player and monster, so we will use a roll of d6 plus agility modifier, or it can be group. You roll d6 in 1, 2 or 3 enemy begins, and 4, 5 and 6 player characters will begin the battle. And when player will attack or will be attacked, the player who have a character that will be actually attacked need to roll melee attack, ranged attack or defense. First two depend on strength and agility, last one, strength and presence, and last depends on agility. So when monster attacks the player rolls the defense dice, not different. On this dice you can have the critical and roll and fumble roll, it's 20 and 1. In skill checks it's mostly don't work like this, but in combat it work like we can read here. On the attack you will deal double damage and destroy tier of armor of your opponent, and in the defense you will have a free attack. And fumble is a non-critical success but critical failure will on the attack break or lost your weapon, and on the defense reduce your armor tier. Armor in this game have 3 tiers. It's light, medium, and heavy, minus d2, minus d4, and minus d6. So when you will get damage, you roll armor roll and prevent damage. Actually, I think this mechanic with attack strikes and armor not the best decision, because some combats can be too slow when you roll few dice, a few attacks to strike only once, and when you strike you deal less amount of damage and armor on your opponent. But it's actually still not so slow like in modern games with a lot of mechanics that you need to remember and read in the books at the same time. In the case that your character will go to 0 hit points, he will be broken, and in the case that your character will go to minus hit points, he will die. And on the broken case, you not safe again, because you will roll d4. On some values you will return in a few turns, but in a bad case you will still die, so you can die even on 0 hit points. This game is cruel. We're all dying, so why we need to save characters, right? Magic system in the game simple too. You can have powers that you got by character creation or by some event on your adventures, and most usable magic sources is scrolls. It can be holy or cursed scrolls. They deal damage or heal somebody, but to use scroll you again need to roll the dice. It will be presence roll against difficulty rating 12, and you can't spam your spells. You have only d4 plus presence value that you roll every day to understand how many spells you can use daily. Yeah, so if you have a minus to presence, it will be sometimes hard to use your powers or spells. Spells have not critical success on the roll, but have the fumble. And the fumble you will provoke some magic cataclysm. You will roll d20, and in lucky case it's nothing happens, or you just forgot spell, or make some other type of fail. In bad case you even can die. Character creation is simple too. You will roll dice for your 4 abilities, dice for your hit points, and 3 dice for your starting items or background traits. Abilities rolls by 3d6, but you will just don't use result of dice roll. From dice roll you will calculate your ability modifier from -3 to +3, as I mentioned before. Basically, you can use classless characters and roll 4d6 if you want to make your character better in this case, but it will not help your character anyway. Also, you can choose name for character, but well dang, so maybe it's even have not reason. Nameless or with name, he'll die with the world. On character creation you also can use optional rule, but before I tell you about second optional rule from main book. It's omens. As I mentioned before, game is cruel for characters, especially player characters, but omens can help you slightly. Every day player characters will roll d2, so every day they will have 1 or 2 per day's omens. Omen can be used to reroll any dice, prevent crit or fumble, prevent some amount of damage, or make the difficulty rating easier for -4. So you can attack not on difficulty rating 12, but on difficulty rating 8. And now we can go to second optional rule about character creation. It's classes. The main rule book have 6 classes. 4 of them is like dark fantasy variants of basic fighter, cleric, mage, and thief. 2 with more specific abilities. Classes change your character creation process slightly. Yeah. You with classes will have different amount of hit points, different items. Spellcasting classes will have a spell, and even will have the more omens per day, not d2 but d4. But at the same time, at the start items, they will get just smallest and worst items that you can get. Yeah. At the same time, any classes have the profits and losses. So if you will use fighting class, Fang and Deserter, you will can have extra type of attack with your fangs, but you can't read, so you can't use scrolls and can't use magic. Level up in the game, fine, because you will not get experience points, you will not count your money, just the game master tell you, now it's time for level up, and that's all. Master will tell you when you level up, not any calculations here, it's just decision of your game master. At the level up you will roll d6 for each of your abilities, and if result will be more than your modifier, you will grow your abilities for +1. But if it will be less or 1, you will downgrade your ability for one. So it can be not level up, it can be level down. Yeah. Also, you find something in your pockets. It can be magical scroll or coins, but mostly nothing, and get more hit points to live longer in this dark and dangerous world. Of course, the book have a list of monsters that you will fight against and some henchmen that will help you to fight against monsters. And also this book has the starting adventure, starting dungeon, and it's really cool. It's actually simple. You have some target, need to go to dungeon and find some person, fight with some big boss. In this dungeon you have not only monsters but also puzzles and some NPC that will talk with you. But my favorite point here is a visual part. You have the map of the dungeon, and on every page of the adventure you will also have the description of the rooms, and little on the left or right corner of the page, little map of the dungeon. It's really helpful. You don't need to go to the book forward and backward to find the map. Also, stats for all monsters that you will find in the dungeon is described on this page of Adventure 2. It's fine. As you can see, this book is a visual treasure, but for some people it will be hard to read the text, and for this case, creators made the bare-bone version. And actually, they made an entire website for Mörk Borg, and you can find a lot of information here. Character sheets, some adventures, some extra content, links to buy the books and in the paper or in the PDF. Also, you can try Mörk Borg for free. You can download PDF of bare-bone edition. It's just a text of rules without beautiful artworks, but still helpful to understand the rules and use them. And also free adventure you can find on website too. If you need more content, you also can check the Ex Libris, the big library of content for different games, but mainly for Mörk Borg, because for Mörk Borg I have like 2000 of different adventures, maps, hacks and stuff like this. Also you can find 2 or 3 zines with extras for this book. As you can see, this book is beautiful and the system is fine. It's really simple. You can read rules quickly, find some little small adventure and go to play. It's really easy to tell your players how to play this game. And it's basically was created to play fast games in pub or encounters like this. And it worked well. I like Mörk Borg and actually like systems or rule books or settings that was inspired by it. It's actually not small amount of them, and I can highly recommend it for you. Thank you for watching this video up to the end. If you like it, please support me by leave a comment, press the like button or subscribe to my channel. Thank you again, have a nice games and have a nice day. Bye!